Alright, stop what you're doing and look at this poster, because the internet is freaking out right now. And honestly, I get it. Fans think this image of Volume 2 of Stranger Things Season 5 is secretly pointing to the death of one of the most beloved characters in the entire show. And if they're right, it's going to break the whole fandom. Let's get into it. So this is the official poster for Volume 2 of Season 5. And yes, the first thing that jumps out immediately is that 3 characters are front and center: Hopper, Eleven, and Steve. But what's weird is the positioning. Hopper and Eleven kinda make sense. They've been core to the series since day one. Their emotional connection, the parental thread, the power dynamic, they're both pillars. But then, Steve, dead center, more prominent than anyone else. And fans noticed instantly. Traditionally, posters for this show do something pretty specific. The characters sitting in the middle hold the emotional weight of the story, and sometimes, tragically, the biggest consequences. In past marketing, central placement has foreshadowed a character's sacrifice, their arc climax, or their narrative farewell. And Steve being exact dead center feels intentional, not random, not aesthetic, purposeful. And also look at the surrounding imagery, the intense red tones, the lighting, the circular framing. It gives a sense that the central character is either the protector or the offering. And that's what brings us to the theory. Many fans believe Steve is being positioned as the heart and maybe the price of the ending. He's the character who's evolved the most. Started selfish, became protector, found purpose, took on the big brother role to the kids. His death would be devastating, but narratively, too powerful to ignore. There's even a pattern. Steve is the one who repeatedly steps into danger. He's the shield, the guy who doesn't have powers but keeps fighting anyway. If Eleven represents power and Hopper represents sacrifice and resilience, Steve represents heart. And in these kinds of stories, the heart dies to save everyone else. That's the exact fan fear. Look closer at the composition. Everyone else radiates outward. Characters gradually get placed in rings, like orbiting moons. But Steve is positioned like the nucleus, the impact point. If the show is building toward a moment where someone steps forward to take the hit, the poster frames Steve as the primary candidate. Hopper and Eleven on either side would represent the two directions of his arc: emotional sacrifice and heroic action. Fans also pointed out this chilling detail. Steve's eyes in the image gives off a grim seriousness, not hopeful, not triumphant, almost like someone who knows a final choice is coming. Inside the story, Steve's arc has been suspiciously perfect. Repaired relationships, found acceptance, gained emotional closure, won back the audience, and constantly proves himself in battles. That's prime writing for a completed arc. And historically, when a character's arc feels complete, it's because the writers are preparing to say goodbye. Meanwhile, Eleven and Hopper still have unresolved journeys. Steve, though, he's reached the point where sacrificing himself for the others would feel painfully believable and heartbreakingly earned. And if the volume is going darker, which all signs point to, Steve's death would be the moment that cements the stakes, right before the finale. Let's be honest, the emotional gravity of losing Steve would be massive. He's tied to the teens, the kids, the adults, and the entire fan base. Every audience group loves him. So if you want a devastating event that feels unforgettable, he's the choice. Plus, if Eleven is leading a finale battle, picture the emotional feel she'll gain after losing someone that important. The show loves mixing heartbreak with victory. There's also this subtle visual cue. Steve is centered directly in the circle's core. It almost looks like a target, or the eye of the storm. Symbolism like this isn't accidental in epic finales. Posters are designed to hint. He's not just central, he's surrounded, and that framing makes the theory even heavier. Now, before everyone panics, let's be fair. sometimes posters are misleading on purpose. Centering a fan favorite could be hype buildup, not foreshadowing a tragic end. Steve's popularity might make him visually ideal as the emotional anchor of the ensemble. It could simply be signal boosting his role, not his doom. And the show does love misdirection, so take all of this with a grain of suspense, not certainty. But I'll say this, after looking at the composition, the color palette, the emotional center of the image, I totally get why fans are nervous. The character at the dead center of this poster looks like someone with a destiny and maybe a sacrifice. If Steve goes down in Volume 2, it might be the moment that defines the entire season. But what do you think? Is the poster foreshadowing, or are we all just spiraling? Drop your theories below. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.